Melissa Gilbert confirms the rumors about her private life. Melissa Gilbert was born Melissa Ellen Gilbert on May 8, 1964 in Los Angeles, California. She was adopted shortly after birth by actor and comedian Paul Gilbert and his wife Barbara Crane, a former dancer and actress. From the beginning, she was surrounded by creativity and performance, and it quickly became clear that she possessed a natural presence in front of the camera. Melissa began acting professionally as a young child, appearing in television commercials and guest roles before most children her age had even begun school. There was an earnestness to her performances, a sense of emotional truth that set her apart and hinted at the depth she would later bring to her most famous role. Her life changed forever in 1974 when, at just 9 years old, she was cast as Laura Less in Little House on the Prairie. Based on the beloved books by Laura Ingalls Wilder, the series quickly became a cornerstone of American family television. As Laura, Melissa embodied curiosity, courage, vulnerability, and fierce determination. Week after week, audiences watched her character grow from a wide-eyed, frontier child into a thoughtful young woman, and in many ways, they watched Melissa grow up alongside her. The role demanded emotional range far beyond her years, tackling themes of poverty, disability, loss, prejudice, faith, and moral responsibility. Melissa rose to the challenge with remarkable maturity, delivering performances that remain deeply affecting decades later. Working closely with Michael Landon, who portrayed her father, Charles Less, and served as the show's creative driving force, Melissa developed not only as an actress, but as a storyteller. Landon became a mentor figure, instilling in her a respect for discipline, emotional honesty, and the power of television to shape hearts and minds. The bond she formed with the cast and crew of Little House created a sense of extended family that left a lasting imprint on her life. Even after the series ended in 1983, the impact of the show and her place within it never faded. For countless fans around the world, Laura Ingalls was not just a character, but a companion during childhood, and Melissa Gilbert became synonymous with warmth, strength, and authenticity. Transitioning from child star to adult actress is notoriously difficult, and Melissa Gilbert's journey was no exception. After Little House on the Prairie, she worked tirelessly to redefine herself, taking on a wide range of television roles, stage performances, and made-for-TV movies. She appeared in films such as The Miracle Worker, where she portrayed Helen Keller, a role that further showcased her emotional depth and commitment to challenging material. On stage, she found a new sense of freedom and artistic fulfillment, performing in numerous theater productions that allowed her to stretch beyond the wholesome image audiences had long associated with her. Behind the scenes, however, Melissa's life was marked by personal struggles. Growing up in the spotlight took its toll, and she has spoken candidly about the pressures of fame, complicated family relationships, and battles with addiction and self-doubt. Rather than hiding these experiences, she later chose to confront them openly, using honesty as a tool for healing. This willingness to speak the truth about her vulnerabilities has become one of the most admirable aspects of her legacy. In sharing her story, she has helped dismantle the myth of the perfect child star and offered comfort to others facing similar challenges. In addition to her acting career, Melissa Gilbert has played a significant role behind the scenes in the entertainment industry. She served as president of the Screen Actors Guild from 2001 to 2005, becoming one of the youngest individuals ever to hold the position. In this role, she proved herself to be a passionate and articulate advocate for performers' rights, working to protect actors during a time of major industry change. Her leadership was driven by empathy and first-hand understanding of the vulnerabilities artists face, especially those who begin their careers at a young age. Melissa Gilbert's personal life, much like her professional journey, unfolded in the public eye and reflected the emotional intensity of a woman who grew up too quickly under the pressures of early fame. Long before marriage and motherhood, Gilbert experienced highly publicized teenage romances that captured the attention of fans and tabloids alike. During her adolescent years, she dated two future Hollywood superstars, Tom Cruise and Rob Lowe. relationships that have since become part of pop culture lore. At the time, Gilbert herself was already a household name due to Little House on the Prairie, and these youthful romances placed her squarely at the center of young Hollywood. Though brief, these early relationships were formative, offering her a glimpse into love, heartbreak, and the complexities of dating while famous, experiences that would shape her emotional maturity and expectations in later relationships. On February 22, 1988, Melissa Gilbert entered her first marriage when she wed actor and producer Beau Brinkman. At that stage in her life, Gilbert was seeking stability and a sense of normalcy after years of growing up on television sets, rather than in traditional family settings. Brinkman, who shared her background in the entertainment industry, seemed to offer a partnership grounded in a mutual understanding of Hollywood's demands. Their marriage marked a significant transition for Gilbert from child star to adult woman attempting to build a family of her own. The couple welcomed a son, Dakota Paul Brinkman, a life-changing event that deeply affected Gilbert. Motherhood became one of the most important roles of her life, giving her a renewed sense of purpose and grounding her in ways that fame never could. Despite their shared hopes and the joy of raising their son, the marriage faced increasing strain. By 1992, after 4 years together, Gilbert and Brinkman decided to end their relationship. The divorce was emotionally difficult, but Gilbert remained committed to co-parenting Dakota and maintaining a loving, stable environment for him. Seeking love again, Gilbert married for a second time on January 1, 1995, choosing actor Bruce Boxleitner as her life partner. Boxleitner, known for his work in television and film, brought a sense of maturity and shared experience to the relationship. Their marriage symbolized a fresh start and a hopeful new chapter for Gilbert. Later that same year, on October 6, 1995, she gave birth to their son, Michael. The decision to name him Michael was deeply personal and profoundly symbolic. It was a heartfelt tribute to Michael Landon, the man who had played her on-screen father in Little House on the Prairie, and who had also served as a mentor, protector, and guiding force in her life. Landon's influence on Gilbert extended far beyond the television screen. He had helped shape her values, confidence, and understanding of family, making the naming of her son a powerful act of remembrance and gratitude. For a time, Gilbert and Boxleitner appeared to have built a blended family rooted in shared respect and affection. However, as the years passed, differences emerged, and the marriage faced increasing challenges. Balancing careers, parenting, and personal growth proved difficult, and the relationship gradually unraveled. On August 22, 2011, Gilbert filed for divorce, officially bringing the marriage to an end. Though the separation was painful, Gilbert approached it with maturity and honesty, later speaking openly about the emotional toll it took and the lessons she learned. She remained devoted to her children and focused on rebuilding her life with clarity and resilience. Love ultimately found Gilbert once more when she married actor and director Timothy Busfield on April 24, 2013. Their wedding took place in a small, intimate ceremony at the picturesque San Isidro Ranch in Santa Barbara, California, a location long associated with romance and tranquility. The setting reflected the nature of their relationship, private, grounded, and deeply affectionate. Busfield, like Gilbert, had been married twice before and brought 3 children into the marriage, creating a blended family built on shared life experience rather than idealized expectations. Their union was marked by mutual respect, emotional honesty, and a sense of partnership that came from having weathered life's challenges individually. In mid-January 2026, Melissa Gilbert found herself confronting one of the most painful public moments of her life, as long-rumored tension surrounding her private world suddenly became the subject of national headlines. For decades, Gilbert had been known to audiences as a symbol of warmth, resilience, and moral clarity, an image forged during her years as Laura Ingalls on Little House on the Prairie and reinforced by her thoughtful advocacy work and candid memoirs. Yet, this moment was different. It was not about her career, her health struggles, or her political views. It was about her marriage, her trust, and the shock of seeing her personal life entangled in a deeply disturbing legal controversy. On January 9, 2026, U.S. media outlets reported that a warrant had been issued in New Mexico for the arrest of Timothy Busfield, Gilbert's husband and longtime partner. According to law enforcement statements, Busfield was accused of sexually assaulting twin boys during the filming of the television series The Cleaning Lady. The boys' parent alleged that the abuse occurred over an extended period from November 2022 until early 2024, raising immediate alarm, not only because of the severity of the accusations, but also because of the alleged duration and setting of the incidents. Authorities stated that Busfield faced 2 counts of sexual abuse involving a minor and 1 count of child abuse, and that the warrant had been issued by the Albuquerque Police Department. The gravity of the allegations sent shock waves through the entertainment industry and the public alike. Gilbert, who had spent much of her adult life advocating for child welfare and personal accountability, was suddenly forced to confront accusations that struck at the core of her values. In a statement attributed to her, she acknowledged the emotional devastation of the situation, saying, "I am shocked, heartbroken, and struggling to comprehend the weight of what has been alleged." At the same time, she emphasized the importance of due process, adding, "These are allegations, not conclusions, and the legal system must be allowed to do its work." Reports indicated that the investigation into Busfield began after a University of New Mexico doctor reported the alleged abuse in November 2024, triggering a formal inquiry that unfolded quietly for months before becoming public. Busfield's legal counsel strongly denied the accusations, characterizing them as fabricated and claiming they stemmed from resentment after the child actors were dismissed from the production. Gilbert addressed these competing narratives with visible restraint, stating, "I am not a judge, and I cannot pretend to know all the facts. What I do know is that this situation is deeply painful for everyone involved." As the story continued to unfold, professional consequences quickly followed. NBC announced that it would not air an episode of Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, in which Busfield appeared as a judge, citing sensitivity to the nature of the allegations. The irony of the decision was not lost on observers, nor on Gilbert herself. "The timing and symbolism of it all is overwhelming," she reportedly said. "It feels like watching your life fracture in real time, piece by piece." On January 12th, reports emerged that police had been unable to locate Busfield 3 days after the warrant was issued, prompting the U.S. Marshal Service to join the effort to apprehend him. Media speculation intensified with questions swirling not only about Busfield's whereabouts, but also about Gilbert's role, knowledge, and emotional state. She addressed these rumors directly, stating, "I have cooperated fully and transparently. I have nothing to hide, and I will not obstruct justice in any way." When Busfield turned himself into authorities on January 13th, the story reached a new and sobering phase. For Gilbert, the moment marked a painful reckoning rather than a resolution. "Turning himself in does not bring clarity or peace," she said. "It simply means that the process begins in earnest." She also expressed concern for the alleged victims, noting, "If children have been harmed, they deserve protection, compassion, and truth above all else." In confirming the rumors surrounding her private life, Melissa Gilbert did not offer sensational revelations or emotional outbursts. Instead, she presented herself as a woman caught between love, disbelief, and an unwavering